So today's message is entitled The Way to a Man's Heart. I am pinning it for my live viewers. Welcome to everybody who's watching the replay. Comment replay if you are watching it on the replay. But for everybody who is watching it live, drop your city and state so I can see where you're watching from. This is a conversation that I really hope you listen to, even if you have to go back and listen on YouTube after the fact. But this is something that I'm going to be talking a lot about in the next couple of months, just making sure everybody gets a chance to hear this. It is entitled The Way to a Man's Heart. There is so much that I realize that women don't understand about the way a man is wired, and therefore we treat men in a way that is counter intuitive. It's counterproductive to what we're trying to get. Okay. It's kind of like saying, I really like this balloon and I want this balloon forever, and I'm going to keep poking it with needles. That would be counterproductive. So we as women have been doing a lot of things to men that literally changes their nature and how they interact with us. And then we're upset by how we're getting treated. Okay. So I want to teach women because there's a lot of stuff that I understand that women just don't know. All right. So who do we have here? We have Columbus, Ohio. Drop your city and state, guys. I'm going to give about 60 more seconds. I want to get a chance for people to come in here. Men, this will be a chance for you to be heard. This will be a chance for you to confirm that what I'm saying is true. And ladies, this is going to be something that will be a game changer for you. So let all your girlfriends know, you guys, we are all about team love. We're about healing. And this conversation is one of the ways that we are going to begin to heal. We are going to do our best to put an end to the gender war. And a lot of times, all the time, people fight when they don't know how to love correctly. So without further ado, let's get started. I've heard women say so many things about men, like, oh, they don't show emotions, they're so cold, or they're only focused on this, or all they want is sex. I've heard a lot of things that women say. And the reason that women say this is because they're looking at certain behaviors and they're making an assessment. So a lot of things that they say, there is a part of the truth, right? Yes, men are very focused. They have laser focus and they could be really driven. They really do enjoy sex. They don't tend to show a lot of emotions, but to think that that's how they are as a total package is so wrong. So although a man enjoys sex, he's not all about sex. There are a lot of other aspects that he needs to have. Just because he doesn't show a lot of emotions doesn't mean he doesn't have a lot of emotions. It just means he's not showing them to you. If he's really focused and he's not making time for you, it's not because he has the inability to make time for you. It means you haven't done the thing that makes him feel like it's really going to be a good ROI to spend time with you. Thank you, Yogi Life, for the badge. You're so sweet. You're always getting badges. Thank you. Y'all, I do this in faith. So every time somebody gives me a tip, I'm like, thank you. I'm like the street performer with the proverbial hat out. The badges is the little dollars you drop in there in the change. So thank you. It helps me keep going. This is what I want to explain. And it's so funny because somebody said a couple weeks ago, they're like, oh, I don't think I'm your target market, or you're basically your avatar, the person you speak to in your content, because, you talk to men. And I was like, I can't believe somebody would look at my platform and think that my audience is men, meaning that's all I'm talking to. I am trying to, when I talk about men, I'm trying to teach women about men so that they know how to deal with men. It's like when you get a brand new item and you open the box, the very first thing on the top is the owner's manual. So even though I'm talking about the product, this is for the woman. So as a woman, if you want a man, and not only do you want the man, but you want him to be loving to you, kind, provide for you, don't you think you need to know what inspires him and motivates him? Now, I kind of speak in Women, we speak like they say spaghetti. Like men are very straight. Women, we're very we have all these different roads that all come back together. So I know it's harder for men to follow me, but hopefully men can still follow, just so you can co-sign and say what I'm saying is correctly. But I'm speaking to women in a way that women understand. And I'm a woman, I speak in the way that I speak. I want you to think about 2 old school toys. Really like, what is it called? Antique toys. You know those little metal soldiers or metal robots, and they had a big winder on the back? The toys would work as long as they were wound up, right? You guys all seen those, okay? You wind that toy up and it goes as long as it can go with the power of the winding. Psychology, human psychology, this is separate from spirituality because that's divine energy, but energy is based on psychology, and it's the proverbial winding up. So what winds me up as a woman is different than what winds me up as a man. Are you guys with me so far? Please say yes if you're with me so far, because I don't want to leave from this fundamental ground level 1 and go to level 2 if you guys aren't with me on ground level 1. So the thing that propels us psychologically, I'm using the analogy of the little winder on the back of the device, the toy, okay? So perfect. We got a couple yeses. So you guys, this is making sense. So the woman, she's wound up by something, okay? And the man, he's wound up by something. We are very different. We have a lot of things in common. We're both toys. We both have winders, but the winders are different. If at any point that toy slows down, it's because the winding has like ended, or I don't even know what you call that technology, right? It's the whatever it is, it's ceased. The power's gone. So you got to crank it back up. This thing is the dynamic that keeps relationships going. If you wind up his back and he winds up your back, now you enjoy a healthy relationship. We got 2 toys winding, 2 toys winding. So I just explained to you the dream state. I just explained to you a divine union. This is a divine union, which is why I have my course I'm about to launch called the Divine Union, because who doesn't want that? Okay? He's happy, she's happy, kids are happy, everyone's happy. It's a happy house. Now, what I'm going to spend the bulk of this time on is the opposite, the wah, wah, wah. What usually happens, okay? And the beauty of this is that you really just need one toy wired up, one divinely wired toy to trigger this one. So don't even think you have to have both toys divinely wired. You just got to have one, okay? So essentially, I'm speaking on my feet, okay? Let's take this analogy and we're going to add a second winder. So you have the giant winder on your back. This is going to be your natural psychology. This is the natural winding. And then you're going to take a fan, and like a really high powered industrial fan, and this is going to be divine energy. So when the winding stops, you're unwound, right? It runs out. You have a backup supply that's propelling it forward. Okay? Did I lose you guys with that? You have your main dial that's just built into your back. That's how you're wired. And then in addition to that, some people are propelled by a divine wind, the divine source that is pushing you forward. Okay? Because everyone wants to get here. You can either get here because you're wound up and you move this way, or even if the winding has gone down, there's energy that still pushes you forward. Okay? I really hope I haven't lost you guys. Numbers are going down, so I don't know. People are like, oh, I'm not following you. So here's what I want to explain about men. The thing that winds a man up and gets him to act in a way that women find so divine. You ready for this? RESPECT. Y'all type that in the comments if you will. Respect. What does respect look like? We think respect, I think like, yes, sir. You know, almost like military, yes, sir. But respect is actually really, really simple. it's really a level of kindness. It's kind of like kindness that, even if it's undeserved, right? Kindness. It's an what is the word I'm trying to find? It's unconditional kindness. I couldn't think of what it's called. It's an unconditional kindness. There is a level of kindness that you give. And this is why I say unconditional, okay? So let's say, thank you for commenting respect. Okay, it helps. Let's just say my husband has a hair that's like this, okay? Everybody knows that this is like wrong. Like not morality, right? But it's like he didn't mean for his hair to be like this, okay? So kindness says, instead of going, babe, your hair, it's messed up, in front of a group of people, okay? Because you're correcting something that was wrong. You're correcting it. Kindness says, come here, baby, come here. And you go around the corner, and then when you're alone, you're like, hey, come here. And then get his hair together. That's kindness. That's showing respect. It's allowing him to maintain his dignity. That's another way you could think of it. Allowing him to maintain his dignity. And here's the thing. If you understand that when a man and a woman come together, they are meant to be one person, what you do to him is something you're doing to yourself. So if you always look at it we, if you don't ever say he or I, you say we have a hair sticking up. What would we prefer? We would rather be told in private that we have something embarrassing, right? We would rather be corrected in private. Who enjoys more to be corrected in public than in private? Nobody likes to be corrected at all. But if you have the choice between being corrected in public versus the choice to be corrected in private, everyone is picking corrected in private. What do we say? You want your L's in private. A lot of people don't post their relationships online before they're married to the person. Why? They want to take their L's in private. So if you constantly put yourself in his shoes, because sometimes we want to act like men are these totally different creatures than us. They're not. You know the things that you don't like when it comes to shame. So think of respect as being the complete opposite end of shame. If you want to intentionally shame someone, what would you do? Okay, respect would be the opposite then. If I want to shame you for your hair sticking up, I'm going to let you know in the most blunt way, and I'm going to do it in front of as many people as possible. So what happens is, with women, there are times that we could be just so out of touch, right? You don't read the room, that you don't even realize when you're being disrespectful. Okay? The Bible says to even avoid joking. Now, does that mean to walk around never saying anything? No. But if you're going to err on the side of caution, meaning a lot of times when we joke, we usually make sure that someone is the butt of a joke. I really can't think of a lot of jokes that don't make someone the butt of the joke. Unless you're doing a straight up like knock knock, why did the chicken cross the road, or a knock knock joke, which most people don't really walk around telling jokes. It's usually making fun of someone at someone's expense. And then if that person doesn't laugh along with it, then we condemn that person and go, oh, you just have thin skin. Oh, you're just too sensitive. No, it's disrespectful to be condescending to someone, even if you put a ha 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 at the end of it. I always say, don't say garbage to me and put a ha 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 at the end of it. It wasn't funny with the ha ha. It's not funny without the ha ha. You're speaking something negative about me and you're trying to call it humor. It's not cute. It's not funny. Thank you so much for the badge, Okra. It really does mean a lot. So when you use your words to disparage a man, I don't care how small you make it. If you're making fun of his legs, oh, they're chicken legs, he misses the gym. Or he's so attached to his mom. Oh, there's always mama jokes. Or he's, oh my God, that's his daughter. He just always votes. You're making fun of the fact he's a daddy's girl. Anytime you are using your words have the power of life and death. If you are using your words to tear him down, do not give yourself a pass and say, oh, it's just a joke. Because that's what it is. It's a pass. Out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. That's what the Bible says. So there's really something to it. You actually have a problem with the relationship he has with his mother. You actually are jealous of the relationship he has with his daughter. You actually are not attracted to him because his legs look like chicken legs and looks like he's skipping the gym. Let's not play games. There is a little bit of truth to every joke that we say. That's what makes it land. You wouldn't go up to Arnold Schwarzenegger and be like, "You're so tiny. You're such a puny guy." People will be like, that's not. So when you choose to use your words and you use it to tear him down inside or out of a joke, you're tearing his spirit down. Now, here's the worst part. It's one thing if you lift his spirit on one hand and then you tear his spirit down on the other hand. At least that would kind of net zero. But most people only tear down and they give themselves a pass because it's just jokes. You should be using your words as power, as life. Any opportunity, any place you see him thriving, it's like a mother with a son. You look for ways to encourage him. This kid might be doing horrible with his room, but he's really been doing a good job with brushing his teeth. You're going to focus in on the teeth brushing. You know what? You have been doing such a great job. Man, your teeth are shining so bright. Mommy needs sunglasses. Oh, you've been doing a good job. The dentist even said your teeth looked really good when we went for the cleaning. As a mom, you want to lift and build his self-esteem, and you want to nurture him, and you want to bring the best out in him, and you do that by celebrating what he did right. That is the power of feminine energy. Now, it's balanced by the dad who will get him together and be like, "Look, but you still didn't get your butt in that room and clean," right? But the mom's job is to build him up, to edify him, to strengthen his, sense of who he is, and to feel like he is loved unconditionally. It's like we're kind of looking the other way at your failures. Yeah, but you know what? He got it off his paper, but his penmanship was so great. When you encourage a man, it's like his chest just swells and he's just like, "I can do this." Now, here's the problem. A lot of women say, well, if I encourage him, he's going to get a false sense of himself. He's going to think he's doing great when he's not. This is not about enabling somebody. This is not about giving them a pass if they're doing something wrong. This is about seeking opportunities to celebrate them. So let me give you an example. If he's not doing what he needs to do as far as finances go, and you guys are struggling, and it's not because he just got laid off or something out of his control. It's because he's been playing video games all day. He's not even, looking for places to work. He's not even going to interviews. That's one thing, okay? But if you see that he is doing his best, you encourage him in what he's doing right. He's not dumb. He knows he's not performing. So a lot of things that we think we need to say, we're being Captain Obvious. He already knows he's dropping the ball and he feels stupid. He's beating himself up enough. He does not need you to come and pile on. That's why people love that song, that "She's My Cheerleader," because that's what men want. Cheerleaders never, ever, in the history of me ever watching any game, professional, otherwise, I have never seen the cheerleaders come in formation and go, "Oh, that was bad. Y'all lost so many yardage. That lost a lot of yardage. And oh, look at how bad he did. Yes, he sucks. Look at how bad he did. Yes, he sucks." What do they do on the side? Their face might show it, right? They're like, if you ever watch the cheerleaders, they're like, oh, because they're invested. They're invested in what's going on. They're not dumb. They're not like just playing video games on the side and, oh, that's right, they scored a touchdown. No, they're invested. They're watching. Oh, but they are waiting. They are sitting here like this with their pom-poms and they are oh, come on. Oh, he scored. The second he does something right, they were waiting. Oh, they were waiting. We could do this cheer now. We could do this cheer now. Woo! And their job is to pump him up. Keep him going. Yes. Before he even does the first play, what are they doing? They're in the huddle. Woo! your fingers. They're shaking and the drum is beating and they're pumping this guy up, and the guys haven't even come on the field. They haven't even done the first thing yet. All they did was suit up. But we saw you guys all suited up, and we like, oh, we got our money on them. That's our team. And that's our team. And then what happens? Sometimes you lose the game. And what do? Do they just ignore them? No. Hey guys, next time. Next time. And the next game, they're right there again, like the last game didn't even happen. Can you imagine if the cheerleaders only showed up based on the last game? The squad is like 24, but they won a game, so the next time it's only 18. And then they lost their second game, so now the squad's down to 16. And then eventually it's like 2 girls sitting there. Yay! How crazy would that be? The team, my high school team, sucked. Like, we were the worst team. I don't know any other team that was so bad. Our team was horrible. And it's so funny. Our colors were pee and poop. Our colors are yellow and brown. I just gave away the joke. Our colors were yellow and brown. And I will never forget this one girl in volleyball. She was on the opposing team. And she's like, your colors are pee and poop. And I was just like, that was super random. And I was like, yeah, we do have ugly colors, gold and brown. And all the other schools had like black and red or blue and red. And, you know, all these cool colors, even like yellow and white. They're like, your colors. But we sucked. We were amazing in academics. Amazing, because that's what the principal was really big. He was huge on academics. And so we had so many people, you know, go places. But during the years that I was there, it's changed now, but during the years that I was there, we were horrible. And it was almost a joke. We'd be like, we know we're not going to win, but we just have fun going to the football game. So we'll just go. Like, we sucked that bad, with the exception of, what was our sport? I think we did good in like some track and field. I don't know. Whatever. We sucked. Our football specifically sucked. And that, you know, that's high school. You go and you watch the game. So, but the thing is we just enjoyed the experience. So we would still come out, we would scream, we would cheer, and we'd lose. And then the next game, we'd all come back out. The cheerleaders knew what was coming, but they would cheer, and you just never gave up hope that one year it'd be our year that we won. I didn't mean to go so long in my digression. But honestly, that is what men are looking for and need. They intrinsically, spiritually, emotionally, and physically need. That is why God made the woman to be a helpmate. She's a helpmate for a man. Okay? So now think about how disparaging a lot of us have spoken to our partner. Okay? So when you say these words, and here's the other thing. When a man says something mean to a woman, he sees her face drop and she'll start to cry a lot of times, right? Well, some of the women are so hard they don't even show it. But for some women like me, if you say something mean to me, it will make me cry. I'm very sensitive. And so I will start to cry. And so a man instantly knows when I went too far with that one. But as a woman, because the man is not going to cry, he is not going to say that hurt me. The woman goes, oh, I can shank him and it doesn't hurt. Oh, you're still shanking him. He has internal bleeding. He's getting keloids. But it just doesn't show through his clothing. You don't see the tears in his clothing. Oh, but those wounds are there. If you were to lift up that shirt, you'd see the gouges, the stabs, the wounds, okay, the bruises. He's feeling everything that you're feeling. He's just not showing it on his face. Do you know how a man shows his hurt? The way we would be in a fetal position crying our eyes out, oh, he doesn't love me. You know what he does? He takes on a hobby. He starts golfing a whole lot. Suddenly he starts taking on a lot more projects at work. Suddenly he wants to be around his boys all the time. Thank you. And for the people who are watching the replay, he said saying 100%. Oh my God, so true. I'm amazed with the fact of how appropriately you understand men. You want to know why I understand men? The reason I understand men is because I actually care to understand men. That's the thing. I don't have this crazy, like, I'm not some fortune teller. Like, what do you call it? Like, I don't have these mystical powers. Like, ooh, this lightning. I literally just wanted to know. It started with a care. I cared enough in my heart to know, and I went out and I sought answers. For the last 7 years, I have sought information. And any man who wants to understand a woman, if you actually seek with that intention, not proving yourself right, not trying to battle and how can you win over a woman? If you actually seek information about the opposite sex, you will be blown away with what you learn. And then if you understand the opposite sex, guess what you can do? You keep them wound up in the best way. Oh, we love being wound up as humans. You know, when you're first in love, you feel like you could just jump off of buildings. Like you feel like everything, just food tastes better, drinks are tastier, and just working out feels like you just feel alive. And I wanted to know how to make a man feel that way. I wanted to know how to make a man's eyes roll back in his head emotionally and physically. We have to desire to want to know this. That was a little bit of a tangent, but what was I saying? When a man doesn't feel loved, he's not going to cry. He's not going to curl up in a fetal position. He's not going to suck his thumb. He's not going to call his girlfriends. He's going to retreat. And the way he retreats is through other things. When he normally would be spending time with you, he's spending his time doing something else. That's why I said he's going to take up a hobby. He's going to get really immersed in the video game. He's going to suddenly be wanting to hang out with his boys all the time. And then the worst thing is, if he does not have a lot of strength, self-discipline, you know what else he's going to do? He's going to substitute. Yes. Whatever he's not getting from this woman who's not being his cheerleader, he's going to suddenly, subconsciously be looking for a cheerleader. And even if he's not consciously would be, I'm going to set up a dating app profile. I'm going to start going to bars, and that would be consciously looking for the cheerleader. Subconsciously looking for the cheerleader is this. I'm at work and the girl next to me says, "Oh, Jamal, you haven't been seeming like yourself lately. What's going on?" And he thinks he's innocently having a conversation. Oh, it's, I just have a lot going on at home. Oh, you know what? I've had stuff bothering me. You know what? You want to grab lunch together? Let's just sit together in the cafeteria. Innocent. Yeah, I've just been dealing with some stuff at home, Oh, gosh. Hand on the hand. Oh, poor thing. I know that feeling. My husband doesn't ever give me attention. I just do everything I can for him. I cook, I clean, I keep my figure together. You see my figure? It's together, right? You see my figure? I went and got my boobs done. I mean, I think he should like him, and he just doesn't. Do you feel him? Okay, I'm exaggerating, right? You see where this goes. So you don't even have to try to go out and find that thing. It will come to you. And just like if you're hungry, you're more tempted to eat. If you go into a situation and you're hungry emotionally, you're not wound up, it's harder and harder and harder to resist. Am I making an excuse for cheating? No. Am I condoning cheating? No. Is cheating wrong? Yes. I am explaining how so many men get to the edge where it takes a single little wind to just knock them over the edge. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. A lot of women are pushing the men to the edge and saying, don't you dare, don't you dare topple over. Then what happens? A wind blows. He falls over the edge. He falls into temptation. He does the deed. He doesn't even like this chick. She's not even cute. She just did what? She was just a cheerleader for a little bit. She just stroked his ego for a little bit. She just held him emotionally for a little bit. And the way that a man shows his love, shows his appreciation, that's how he shows his appreciation. Oh my God, you're making me feel so good inside. How do I display this? How do I display it? That's supposed to happen with the wife. You make me feel so good. You make me feel so good. You make me feel so good. Come here, wife. Let me love on you. You make a wife feel so good. What does she do? Take it. That's how it's supposed to be. He's nice to her. Waves, splash, boom, emojis, right? She's nice to him. Well, now you got, and now it's boom, chicka wow wow, chicka wow. Cut to flames in fireplace. That's how it's supposed to work. But you have these men who are trying to stay loyal. They're trying not to leave. They're trying to break their home. But they have nothing wiring them. There's nothing winding them up. Nothing winding them up. So they just need a crank. Just a little crank. I don't want to leave my family. I just need it. Just a little crank. Give me just one half twist. One BJ. It was just one BJ, baby. It didn't mean anything. I just needed one little twist. I don't even know her name. I didn't even care. I just needed a hand to twist. Just get me through this day. Oh my God, why do you watch porn so much? I don't know. I just trying to get through the day. But here's the thing. We cannot make excuses for our bad behavior. So remember at the beginning I said, divine energy. When your wife is not being the cheerleader, when she's not being the nurturer, when she's not being the comforter, when she's not being the helpmate, you get your power source from God. When that thing goes and it winds down, he keeps pushing it. Man, how do you stay faithful to your wife? She's gained 300 pounds. She doesn't even try to be sexy. She dresses like a grandmother from the church. She's disrespectful to you. She rips you apart in front of other people. She's constantly tearing you down. She gets mad when you even try to touch her in any way. And you just keep loving her? Man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you don't cheat on her. And your secretary is fine. I don't think they call him secretary anymore, right? We can't say that anymore. Your assistant, she's fine. How do you resist that? Why? Because he's being propelled by divine energy. I don't know what that sentence means. So this live will be available on YouTube, guys. So those of you asking about this live stream, I post them on YouTube. So it's so important, which is why I'm doing my course on divine union. It sucks if your human partner doesn't do their part, but you're saved by God. How amazing is it if both of you are fueled by God and therefore you do the right things? Somebody said, oh my God, you're like the perfect wife. Imagine if a perfect wife had a perfect husband. Perfect means you're constantly trying to be everything your partner needs. It doesn't mean you never mess up or fall short, but you don't care. If you have an employee who is always trying hard, but every now and then they mess up, you don't even notice the mess ups. You're like, you're good. You're good. Don't even worry. I'm not even deducting from your paycheck. No. You, every time you're working late, every time you're trying to do no, you saved me $100 last month. I ain't even tripping that your time card was messed up. It's not on YouTube right now because you're watching it live. I do them live on YouTube, on Instagram, and then I post them on YouTube. So those people who are asking me if I'm going to save this, I do save it, but I save it and post it on YouTube. So it will not be here on Instagram if you try to come back and watch it on Instagram. So, ladies, I hope there are ladies watching this. I see so many men. Ladies, if you understand the way a man is wired, you learn how to wind up his back. And when he's wound up, he does everything that winds you up. Do you see how powerful we are as women? All right, so let me get to these comments. What if a man finds emotional and sexual satisfaction from two different females? Is that ethically very wrong? Him finding satisfaction from two females. So here's the thing. You cannot separate him from the women. So if you're saying I am getting this from her and this from her, you need to flip the table. Is that ethical to only give part to her and only give part to her? What woman do you know that only wants a part of a man? So you can answer that question. If that was your daughter, somebody said, oh, sir, I met your daughter. She's amazing. And I really love having sex with her. Oh, wow. Yay. Would you say that as a father? Do you love her? No. Oh, no. Do you want to provide for her? Oh, no. When she's bent over, though, she just does it for me. My toes curl. What father would be like, yes, honey, he's a keeper. Yeah, this guy right here. And then what about a guy who's like, man, I really connect with her mentally, and, you know, she makes me feel good inside. You know, not much of a looker. No, never want to sleep with her. But the dad would not be like, yes, honey, I'm co-signing this one. Yeah. He never want to sleep with you. He's always been looking at other women, but yeah, this guy. This guy right here, that's a keeper. Celebration on me, right? Thank you so much for this helpful advice. Oh, well, thank you. I'm really glad. That makes me happy. This is very informative, really happy. Now see, now I got, You're gonna see Mama Yancy come out, so let me just, I have to calm down. The comment is, ladies don't want to hear this, unfortunately, followed by two tears laughing emojis. Remember what I said about jokes. Jokes are rooted in truth. How do you think a woman would feel if she was on this live stream with the intention of learning? Listen to these comments. The women, these are women saying this. Thank you so much for this helpful advice. This will help me in the dating field. Woman 2, this was very informative. Woman 3, you have helped me so much. Now, these women are listening, taking notes, and then they hear the comment, ladies don't want to hear this, unfortunately, laughing emoji. Our jokes do more damage than good, almost always. I always leave room for there to be an exception, almost always. So I'm getting on, not trying to just go off on the gentleman who said that. This is a learning example. This is a teaching moment. If you don't have anything nice to say, do not say it. It discourages people. But I can't get totally mad at you because I understand you're speaking from a place of pain. It is you've seen too many times where women don't display love and respect. So your heart doesn't feel that it has any hope. You're speaking, I don't have hope. That's what that sentence says. I don't have hope because I haven't seen it. That's why I can't get mad at you. I used to get mad until I understood that. That is a cry from a man, okay? What I say? Men don't cry in the fetal position. They use humor and jabs. So what he's trying to convey is, I have not seen this a lot, therefore I'm losing hope that it's true. But guess what? It's lost in translation. Most people are not like me. They're not going to see that comment and go, oh dear, that man is hurting. So many women have hurt him. He doesn't think it's true. It's possible. No, they're going to go, that's a bitter dude. That's a bitter dude. Psh, I don't want to be with that guy. You know what? Forget this. Forget me trying to even understand men. You know what? These men are so contemptuous. They don't even deserve my love. You know what? Screw that. I'm going to just go be a thought. I'm going to just focus on being a boss babe. And you see, the gender war keeps going. He says, if there is some truth to this, unfortunately, I made the comment after you mentioned there seem to be mostly men in here. No slight to the ladies that are in here. You're absolutely appreciated. And I knew where your heart was. I knew where your heart was. But even to say they're not here because of this reason, it's a subconscious revelation of your lack of hope. And I don't mean a lack of hope like shame, you don't have hope. That's sad. That makes me sad that there's not hope. That means you have had so many negative encounters with women. Oh, this is beautiful. He said, I'm proof that everything you said is accurate. My wife and I reached this point a few years ago and we're able to understand we need to listen to each other more in our marriage. I like that. I like that. If anyone has any questions, I'm willing to stay on for a few minutes. If you want to come on the live and ask a question, you can do so. I always ask people to be respectful. Please do not use this as an opportunity to be social. This is not what we are here for. Our marriage has been at its best ever since. That's amazing. Amazing. Ladies, if you ever get a chance to see the heart of a man, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I wanted to say this, I almost forgot. When a man doesn't feel safe opening up his heart, and I did a live stream on this earlier this week, a woman has to feel emotionally safe to literally like spread her legs, right? We're all grown here. She literally has to feel that. It's like, it's proven, it's a physical thing. Sex feels better when she feels emotionally safe. There's a complete mind-body connection. For a man, he has to emotionally feel safe in order to display the emotions. So he doesn't have to feel emotionally safe to display the physics, right? He's not wired that way to where he can't get it up until he's emotionally safe. Not true, okay? He will respond physically despite how he feels emotionally. Some men, it does. I do know some sapiosexuals where if they don't feel good emotionally, they don't. It just makes the desire go away. But for a lot of men, they have to feel emotionally safe to be able to go there with a woman. Or they can go there with a woman, but they never open up, which is what I was getting to. So for a man to spread his heart, okay, because I'm comparing it to a woman spreading her legs, for a man to spread his heart and let you see everything, that means he's taking away that layer that has kept you on the outside. You know how you say, he's not really being emotional with me. He's not being intimate with me emotionally. He's not letting me in. We know what it feels like. We can feel it. It's like having a toy, but it's still in the plastic. Like you could see the toy, you can kind of hold the package, but you know you're not like getting in there, right? You're not in there. It's so metaphorical to a woman, you know, him getting in there. For you to get in his heart, he has to feel safe enough to open emotionally. And this is why you see a man who is like, I'm not ready for marriage. I'm not ready for marriage. And then he breaks up. He's with the next girl. And within 3 months, he's engaged. That woman made him feel emotionally safe. That woman listened to him when he opened up and said, this was my trauma growing up. My mom did this to me and it hurt. And she goes, I'm never doing that. My dad let me down in this way. So, okay, now I can understand you more. The woman who makes him feel safe, she's the keeper of his secrets. He trusts her with his emotions. What does that mean? To trust a woman with your emotions doesn't mean that oh, he opened up to me. No, he'll open up to you. He'll do it one time. Men will do it one time. What you do after that determines everything moving forward. You have one time to show him that you're going to throw it back in his face. You have one time to show him that you're going to tell his secret to someone else. You have one time to show that you're going to use it to manipulate him. Oh, honey, he's never opening that again. A woman, physically she might open up. A man, Once you show that you are not deserving of his heart, you can kiss that heart goodbye. It would take an actual act of God to overcome it. And I'm speaking from personal experiences. Okay? So there's a woman who says, I'm like that and I'm a woman. This is part of our nature. Men tend to have more of that. Men tend to be more logical. And logic says, if this thing hurts me, I'm not going to touch it again. That is logic. Women tend to be more emotional. Well, this hurt me, but I have hope that it will change. Okay? That's the beauty of it. It's a blessing and a curse. I have hope. A healthy person has a balance. They have a balance of hope and reason. Well, this happened, so logically I should not give them another chance, but I'm going to give grace because I have a little hope that maybe she did it because she didn't understand. But when you explain it to her and she doesn't get it, you explain it to her and she overrides it, or she does it again and makes an excuse, why I was just mad, then a healthy person says, I'm not going to keep casting my pearls before swine, as the Bible says. You do not allow someone to continue to disrespect you. The man says, I'm going to marry you, and a year goes by. I have hope. The man says, I'm going to marry you. 2 years goes by. I'm a fool. Okay? And when I say marry you, like, pick a date. If that man's not picking a date, that's foolish at a point. Like, there's a point where it becomes foolish. If he says, oh, I'm going to marry you. Okay, well, then within 6 months or a year, then there should be a ring at some point. There should be a date picked, a proposal. But if I'm going to marry you, that's just words. This is why we need to have divine energy. Use your logic, but never lose hope. Stop dreaming. Don't ever stop dreaming, but you also need a plan. Okay? It's a constant yin and yang. But because as men, they tend to have more logic, women tend to have more emotion and hope, why do you think God told us to come together? Divine union. Hello? Again, this is why I'm making my course, the Divine Union. It speeds up the process. Men can, and he said facts, not feelings. Here's the thing. Men go off of facts typically. Women go off of feelings. But guess what? You need both. You need both. To be a whole and healthy person, you need both. Most people don't know when to override the other one. When should feelings override the facts, and when should facts override the feelings? That is divine when you find the balance. So with men, if they're a fact, and the woman is feeling, you put it together and they can balance each other out. Yes, baby, I know that's what he deserves, but you know what? Let's give him grace. Let's give him another chance. That is your brother. You will regret it if you just have a hard line and you just don't forgive him. Okay? The fact is, my brother stole. My brother crashed my car. That's a fact. But the feelings say you're going to regret holding that fine line. Forgive him. He's struggling with an alcohol addiction. Whatever, right? We need to balance each other. So I'm going to close with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you had any questions, you probably have like 30 seconds to request to come on. But that's all I have to share. Thank you so much. I love the information God has given you to share with those who are willing to listen. Thank you. And it's a pleasure for me, because I cannot have it for myself. It's a blessing to be able to give it to someone else. I didn't know this information when I needed to know it. And it cost me my relationship with my husband. And I don't want anybody to have a marriage that ends, or if it doesn't end, a marriage that grows to bitterness because you don't understand this stuff. Because as humans, we're wired to love. Men need love, women need love, but because of ignorance, we destroy each other. So my boat was missed. I don't want someone else's to be. And my story is not over. But as of right now, and she said, mine is ending. It's irreparable. Here's the thing. It's not, my love. It's actually not. Unless the person has moved on and remarried, that's the only thing that's irreparable, because that would be chaotic to try to end a new relationship. But if you are married, even if you're getting a divorce, I beg you, come to me first. Let's do counseling first. There is no marriage that is irreparable. I want to share this because I wasn't going to share this, but I'm going to share this. When I said it would take an act of God to change the person's heart when a man gets to a certain point or a woman gets to a certain point, I wasn't joking. It literally did. I don't speak a lot about miracles on my channel because it's sacred to me, and people who don't believe in miracles would probably just make light of it or what have you. So it's just something sacred that I just don't share with people. I feel myself getting emotional. My heart had become bitter towards my husband because of the pain that I had. And you know, that song, there's an icebox where my heart used to be. That song, right? The lyrics. People subconsciously make lyrics and sayings of things that are real. There really is such a thing in the spirit realm as ice around your heart. Have you heard that saying, when you are unforgiving, it's like drinking poison and thinking the other person is going to die? When you become bitter, the Bible speaks often of the word bitter. Do a scriptural study on the word bitterness. Bitterness is a state in which your heart becomes cold and it becomes poisoned. That is why when someone says, "Ooh, who hurt you?" and they do this face, it's because it's not pleasant for other people to see, and it makes you yourself destroyed inside. You're a fraction of who you are. You are a gross version of yourself. So even though I was not consciously angry, I wasn't consciously like thinking about him, I did not realize that there was a bitterness that had formed in my heart. And it was necessary for that bitterness for my sanity. I needed that bitterness there to keep me sane, because otherwise I would have had a broken heart. The level of pain that I was in, you can't live that way. That's what made me suicidal. You can't function. My body started to physically break down. I started to have like a nervous breakdown. I started to I couldn't stop crying uncontrollably. I was fatigued all the time. I couldn't get out of bed. The things that used to give me joy wouldn't give me joy anymore. I was brokenhearted. There was something broken inside of me spiritually. And I described it like it was the lack of hope. That's the only way I can describe it. It was the utter hopelessness. I was aware that I was physically alive and breathing. I was aware that I was here on earth, but my heart was dead. And when your spirit is dead, when you're brokenhearted, it is the worst pain. And I've experienced a herniated disc. I've experienced child labor twice. I've experienced a root canal. There is nothing that compares to the pain of a broken heart. Nothing. You would give anything even your life, to put the pain away, to stop the pain, which is why people kill themselves. I hate it when people are like, oh, people are weak when they kill themselves. No. Well, technically, that's the weakest. But it's not something you should be disgusted by. You should go, my God, for someone to be that broken, they are that weak emotionally, they are broken, that they would rather end their physical life than go another day with that emotional pain. That is a deep pain. And because I did not know how to get by, what I did was I hardened my heart. Y'all, this stuff is real, okay? You don't realize this, but you subconsciously harden your heart. You consciously on some level harden it, but subconsciously you full on harden it. And what it is, so I'm trying to even think of putting this to words. I don't think I've ever described this out loud. It's when you get tired of hurting and you say, I surrender. Yeah, you need to DM me, love. I won't say your name because this is going to be saved. You need to DM me, for real, for real. When you get to a point where you say, I surrender, because it hurts too bad, if you do not go to God, the only alternative is the hardening of your heart. Okay? So my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Literally, you're being destroyed because you don't know. And for me, I went to my Bible, but because I was so deep into it, I hadn't strengthened what's called your spirit man. Okay, this is why I beg you guys to come to Bible studies on Thursday. You have your physical man, which is skin and bones, and you have your spirit man, which is the thing that's hurting. Okay, it's the thing that's in pain inside. You could be beautiful on the outside, glowing skin, perfect condition. Outside, that's your physical man. Your spirit man is just as alive. You just cannot see him. It's a spirit man. Okay, so my spirit man was emaciated. I was like the commercials in those third world countries where the head's distended and the body is like, the ribs are popping out, because I was emaciated trying to run a race. Emaciated. Okay? And so what happened was I got to the end, praise God. I got to my breaking point. And when I was at my breaking point, I waved the white flag and I said, I surrender. I surrender. I should have surrendered to God. You know the song, all to Jesus, I surrender. Right? That's the surrender. It's, I can't do this. I can't. You're going to have to do it for me. All to him I freely give. That's what I was going through spiritually. I surrender all. I surrender all. I was surrendering to God, but because I wasn't strong in my spirit, man, I waved the flag in my marriage and I said, I'm tapping out, dude. I'm tapping out. I said, I don't think I can ever be the woman you need me to be. God started to change me and he started to show me who I was. And I got so discouraged because I thought I was in 12th grade and God showed me I really was in 2nd grade. And instead of me going, well, at least I'm in 2nd grade, I went, I'm 10 grades behind. And because my spirit man was so weak, it said, just leave school. Just, what is it called? Just quit. Just quit school. Not, why don't we sign up for intercession? Why don't we sign up for summer program? Why don't we sign up for a tutor? I was weak in my spirit, man. And I just said, I can't do this. I say, you deserve somebody who is already in 12th grade. So you know what? If I just get out of your way, you have a chance of finding somebody who's in 12th grade. And you know what? I'm in 2nd grade, but there's a lot of people who would be grateful for 2nd grade. And maybe as I grow and I eventually get to 12th grade, I can have a chance that somebody doesn't know how remedial I used to be. Dropout, thank you. I could not think of what that word was. Maybe the person who meets me when I finally do get to 12th grade, they won't have seen me in 2nd and 3rd grade. They won't have seen me struggling to use scissors and struggling to hold my crayons, and they won't judge me and they won't have bitterness in their heart. So you know what? I'm just going to tap out, husband. I love you, but I'm going to tap out. And he said, if that's what you want, I can't. What am I going to do? That's what you want to do. I said, I don't know what else to do. He said, okay. 7 years later, my spirit man got his weight up. Hey. I'm bench pressing like 400, 500, 600 every day. Oh my God shall supply all my needs. Woo! Woo! Oh, my weight is up. And my last chapter has been written. So y'all, don't ask me where it is now, because it's still being written. Okay? I'm saying this to you. Do not be like me. Do not tap out. Do not leave that man. Do not leave that woman. Come to me. If they're willing to come with you, that's even better. I promise to God, hope is not lost. Okay? I felt like I was doing everything right. Yep. No matter how I tried, it was never enough. Yep. Faithful. Yep. Counselor. Yep. Girl, you telling my whole story. 3 different ones. He refused to change. Promised he would. Never kept the promises. Girl, my story. You telling my story. I promise you, do not divorce until you've talked to me. Please, I'm begging you. Get some counseling from me. Come on now. He ended our marriage, then came back. I'm just saying, my God is awesome. He can move mountains, keep me in the valley, hide me from the rain. There is nothing my God can't do. Don't let me start to testify. Because look, if he can raise people from the dead, if he can heal lepers, if he can give back sight to the blind, you don't think he can fix a dusty old, crusty old marriage? Come on now. All it is when we have trouble in our marriage is a misunderstanding. I don't understand you. You don't understand me. There are exceptions. Some people can be psychopaths. Okay? Some people can, but the majority of people are just misunderstood. Most people do not get off on just I'm going to just enter this person's life and cause havoc. Most people go into a marriage sincerely thinking this is going to be till death do us part. We're going to make babies. We're going to have family. We're going to love each other. Don't make me laugh, friend. My friend knows who she is. Don't make me laugh. I have to give the disclaimer. There are some who are, and I'm even going to say this. It's not that these people are not redeemable. It's the fact that some people are too disconnected from God. And the more disconnected we are from God, the more susceptible we are to perversion. So if we have a spirit that is open to manipulation, we have an enemy. His name is the devil. And that enemy, will pervert. This is why some women will say, I'm only going to be with this man for his money. This is why some men will say, I will only be with her for her body. That's because the enemy has come in to their minds and has perverted them, which is why as believers, you need discernment to see where someone is. When somebody is discerning, they can see if this person is led of God. If they are led of God, you are better than Allstate. You are in good hands. Okay? I'm telling you guys, when you attend the course, I believe your mind will be blown, because people keep going, oh, does he believe in God? Check. No, honey, the devils believe in God and they tremble. So just because your partner says they believe in God, that don't mean nothing. Nothing. And especially if you're a black person, that's just like being black. Just like being Latino means you're going to be Catholic. Like that, it does not mean you are walking out your faith. That does not mean a thing. Like I said, the devils believe in God. Belief has nothing to do with it. You just have to be ignorant to not believe there's a God. Okay? But just because you believe in God does not mean you uphold it. I believe in nutrition. Does that mean I uphold it? Clearly I don't. I don't walk out nutrition. But I believe in it. I believe everything I read about nutrition. Yep, broccoli is better than pizza. Got it. What am I eating? Pizza. You have to look at what the person's walking out. She says, so you don't think some people in relationships are just incompatible? Here's the difference. There is a spiritual compatibility and there is a natural compatibility. I believe that from a getting along standpoint, anybody can get along. Anybody, because you just learn what not to do. You learn how to not provoke the person and you know what to do to evoke good things, okay? So there's that. That's just general psychology. But from a natural perspective, yes, I do think there are some people who are incompatible. If you're super into adventure and they just want to be at home all the time, or, you know, your idea of a good time is climbing a mountain and their idea of a good time is reading a book. Like, yes, there are human incompatibilities, just like with friendships. Not everybody clicks. So there's a soulmate as far as, you know, how your personalities are wired. There's that. But the reason people get divorced is usually not because of incompatibility. Like, I like riding horses and he likes playing puzzle. That's not what leads people to divorce who have at one point gotten married. It's because they don't feel loved. It's because they feel like there has been a violation. So whoever was asking the question about compatibility is not about ethics. What I'm talking about is ethics. Lying, cheating, betrayal, physical abuse. That's not, I like books and he likes riding horses. So the thing is this, if you want your marriage to last, you want it to survive, I'm not saying that, you know, it's always best to cohabitate, because if someone's physically abusing or something like that, or sometimes psychologically it's a lot, and maybe you need to go with your parents for a while or whatever the case may be. But I believe that 9 out of 10, because I always want to leave a little room, I think that it is always best to stay. It is unless you are physically in danger, because I would not want someone to get killed or maimed or, you know, whatever. But outside of physical abuse, I do believe that there is a solution, and it comes with God. So, all right, guys. That's what I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this conversation, please feel free, if the Lord moves you, to leave a little donation using a little heart. It's called a badge on Instagram. Every little bit helps. I completely do this on faith. I do this full time. I quit my job a little over a year ago so that I could dedicate my time to studying. I literally, what I do all day long, I just study the Word of God. I just study the Word of God, so that I can give it back to you guys. So if you feel that I have earned a little small offering, please feel free to leave a little offering in the offering plate, the Instagram offering plate, which is a badge. Instagram takes most of it, but you know, I do get a little bit. But I promise you, I spend my time trying so hard to search the scriptures so that I can bring glory to God, but I can also help. I want to be a help to as many human beings as I can while God allows me breath in my lungs. So I have enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. You guys can also support me on Patreon. You can give as little as $5 a month, which goes a long way over the course of a year. Thank you so much. It's all about me 5. She bought a badge. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can also support on Patreon. You could be a patron. And oh, you're so sweet. She said your Cash App or Zelle. My Cash App is very easy. It's payYonci. Very, very simple. I'll actually put it up on the screen really quickly. It is not letting me scroll. There we go. That's my Cash App. And then my Zelle, you guys can DM me if you wanted to send something through Zelle. But let me just put this here. Hopefully it doesn't autocorrect. Okay, cool. But I appreciate that. And a lot of you guys have reached out and shared with me how my content has helped words of encouragement are awesome too. I can't eat with words of encouragement, but they are very valuable and they do fuel me. So there's two separate things. It emotionally fuels me, and then the finances obviously help me financially. Thank you so much. Let's see, I don't want to say this name wrong. The Tony Marie. I had to, it rolls together. Thank you so much for the badge. I really, really appreciate it. And I forgot to mention, so Patreon, it's in the link in my bio. So if you guys go to the link in my bio, it's patreon.com/Yonci. You could sign up for that, and it's literally $5 a month. It just comes out every month. And it's really, really, really helpful. Thank you, Nicole Danielle. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's that. And you guys, the last week of June, for those of you in Atlanta, I don't know who's in Atlanta watching this, but I'm going to be in June. I'm going to be in Atlanta the last week of June, and I'm going to be doing a little pop-up event. So First Lady Ham, thank you for the badge. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be doing an event, and I'm going to be having a conversation like this, but it's going to be live and recorded, and then I'm going to be, editing it and pushing it out on social media. So if you guys want to come, it's going to be one of the days, because I'm there shooting other podcasts and things. So I don't know exactly what day it's going to be, but if you're going to be in the area the last week of June, let me know. There is a link I can send you that you could sign up, because I used to put it in my stories, but I keep forgetting to repost it. But I hope you guys can come and have this conversation. And eventually, when the budget allows, I can come and do my city to cities tour, so we can come in person. All right, guys, I think I've said goodbye like 4 times. I'm such a Baptist preacher that way. I'm like a Baptist preacher. But for real, for real, for real, thank you so much. The doors of the church are now closing. I love you guys. And until next time, please tell someone how much you love them. For real, like pick up the phone, text them, call them, say it to their face. And I hope it's super apparent just how much I love you.